What's up, YouTube? My name is Marik, and I'm here with my beautiful wife,
Nasa.
And earlier this year in 2019, we were able to successfully complete our debt-free journey where we paid off all of our debt, including all credit cards,
this degree,
both cars, and our tiny house. Now, the total of all of this was $125,000, and we did this in just 24 months.
In this video, we're going to share with you the 6 steps we use and how you can use these tips to make 2020 your year.
Now, if you need a deeper dive than what we cover in this video, we actually did a full 3-part series right here on this channel. So we'll leave a link to that playlist down in the description below. You want to be sure to check these out because they're some of the most popular videos on our channel.
Yes, and also make sure you stick to the very end of this video because we're sharing with you our real financial numbers,
including income,
so that you have a full and transparent picture of everything we're talking about in these 6 steps. You guys ready?
Come on, let's talk money. So for us, step 1 was by far the hardest step. We had to decide that we were going to get serious about money. In our relationship, Konesa was ready to get out of debt long before I was. So all her attempts were pretty much falling on deaf ears. We had to both get on the same page before we could make any real progress with this journey. We had to ask each other 4 primary questions. What are our goals? What do we agree on as the best path to get to those goals? Are we both 100% committed to this? And do we both agree to encourage and hold each other accountable along the way? We also decided that we wouldn't be afraid to openly share our goals with family, friends, and even on social media. We are people that are big on keeping our word, so openly sharing our goals was a huge intrinsic source of motivation.
In step 2, we drafted our first budget. Notice we said draft. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't perfect, and it showed us that there was a lot of work to be done. But it was a start for us. In this step, we started to figure out, generally speaking, what was coming in and what was going out day by day, month by month. The special part about this was that for the very first time, we were able to actually speak to our numbers. If you asked us what we spent in a month on fast food and restaurants, we could actually tell you. Now, we couldn't quite believe how much we were spending, but at least we could speak to our numbers.
In step 3, we balanced the budget. We prioritized what was most important and cut out everything else to make sure that our monthly spending was less than our monthly income. We had finally realized why we always felt like we were spinning our wheels when it came to debt payoff. We would make payment after payment, but never went anywhere. We would say things like, let's pay extra on this at the end of the month, and it would never happen. It was because we were not living on less than we make. We hadn't created any margin in our spending. We had no discretionary income. Now, with our first draft budget and balancing it, we were starting to see a more clear picture.
In step 4, we finalized the budget. So now that we had done the first 3 steps and had a general idea of what was going on with our money and what needed to happen to start making progress towards our goals, it was time to officially put all this down on paper and try our very best to execute our plan during that first month. Now that we had actually freed up some income, the closer we could stick to the plan, the more debt we could eliminate.
Now that we were actually ready and set up to start attacking some debt, we organized our debts from smallest to largest and started attacking the little ones. By this point, we had been listening to and following Dave Ramsey for a while now, and we believed him when he spoke about the psychological aspects of motivation and paying off debt. In life, when we take on a new challenge and we see early and consistent results, we're motivated to keep going. So even though certain debts of ours had higher interest rates than smaller ones, as we began to eliminate the small accounts, it gave us major confidence that the plan was working. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! That confidence motivated us to push forward even harder. We continued attacking our smallest debt and repeated the budget process month after month after month, all while finding more creative ways to cut spending so that we had more discretionary income to attack debt with.
By the time we got to step 6, we had gone through several months of successfully attacking debt, and our motivation was at an all-time high. We were now motivated to increase our income. We both genuinely wanted to work as much as possible so we could get out of debt as fast as possible. We found creative ways to spend time together, which included literally working certain jobs together. Neither of us ever had more than 3 jobs at one given time. But just so you have an idea of what kind of side hustles are out there and what you can expect to make with them, here's a list of the side hustles we picked over the course of 2 years and how much money they made for us.
Now, these side hustles that we're about to list are jobs that we picked up in addition to our full-time work.
So Marique unloaded trucks at UPS, making $500 a month.
Konesa also made $500 a month working as a lifeguard.
Marie came to work with me at PF Chang's as a runner, making $600 a month.
Konesa already works there as a takeout server, making $1,000 per month.
Marie delivered pizzas at Domino's, making $14.50 a month, and delivered pizzas at Pizza Hut, making $1,500 a month.
And lastly, Konesa worked as a server at Copeland's, bringing in $21.50 per month.
And if you notice, we only stayed at any one of these side hustles long enough to have something that's more lucrative so we can get to our goal faster. And all of these side hustles were in addition to our full-time jobs.
A lot of times, if Konesa got off work early enough, she would literally come and ride along just to make sure we were still spending time together. With all of these extra jobs, in total, we were able to take our annual household income after taxes from $65,136 up to $102,948 for the 2018 tax year.
Yes, and throughout the entire process, we stayed committed to our monthly budget and the decision to attack all of our debts from smallest to largest.
One by one, the debts started disappearing, and little by little, we started working harder and harder and harder. We wanted to share the specific numbers with you so that you had real and tangible information to work with. But don't let the numbers scare you away. Everyone's journey and everyone's numbers will look drastically different. The part that remains the same is the effectiveness of the plan.
This plan works 100% of the time if you're committed to it. You always have the option to turn down the intensity level. Plus, we didn't even start with all these jobs.
Our motivation to work more grew as our progress grew. The extra jobs didn't feel like a punishment. They felt like an opportunity.
Ultimately, the harder you go, the faster you're done. In case you didn't realize yet, this is Dave Ramsey's plan. And plugging into the Ramsey community here on YouTube and on Facebook are huge motivators.
Thousands of like-minded people that are out there grinding just like you. We're going to leave the link to some additional resources, including his book, down in the description below. We love you guys.
2020 is your year. What's up, YouTube? Wrong part? Yeah. Boy. In this step, we started to, oh my gosh. And plugging into the Ramsey community here on Facebook and here on YouTube. What was coming out and what was going in. In this step, he literally knocked me over.
You scratched me while you was falling.
I know. That's me?
Yeah.
No, it's not. Holy moly! From all the way here, all the way here?
Yeah.